Well, here I am. It's Tuesday. It's a cloudy day out there. Kind of chilly. I do have my door open so the pup can come in and out. He's out in the yard right now. Been busy, busy, busy. Got rid of some of the plants that are died out a little bit. All the hanging plants, I took them down that were on our patio back here. Been a busy day and a busy week, actually. I did get my plates for the travel trailers. Got them yesterday, and going to put them on this afternoon. Got it all ready to go. I haven't loaded equipment into the trailer or anything like that yet. It's I don't know whether to leave the stuff in the garage till spring or take a chance and head out while the weather isn't too bad. Anyway, that decision can be made anytime. I did look at a channel today called Jebus, and I'm going to put how to get to it down below in the description down underneath my video today after I put it up. Get a chance, go over and look at it. He is getting close to hitting 1 million subs. Sparky, what's up? Sparky, come here. You be a good boy. People want to meet you. Come here. Hey, come here. Get over here. Come here. I want to see you. Come. Somebody wanted to see what he looks like. Here he is. There's my boy. He's a black and white Sheltie. Okay, he wants to bark at the neighbors, so neighbor pup is out there barking, and so he takes offense at that. And anything that's within hearing or that he can see belongs to him. He's a little character. Sparky, be quiet. We're a pup. Anyway, as I was saying, Jebus is getting close to 1 million. They said something about it on this video. Like I say, I looked at it today. Pretty interesting. And he's one heck of a guy. He's pretty professional. He talks the whole time. He's unloading and doing things out of the locker. As he opens it up, he explains what's in each box or tote or whatever the stuff is in, whether it's a bag. Tries to give what it's worth, and he's pretty sharp that way. He's been at the business of buying lockers and then doing the resale on them. He's a family man. He's devoted his entire time to this locker business and his family. He doesn't mind talking about his family once in a while. I haven't looked at his channel for a long time, and I was surprised at how much it's improved in the last year. He's trying very hard to get to that 1 million tier, and I think he's going to make it. So the reason I'm on here today is to give him a shout out, Jebus. I'm glad you're on your way up. You've got my vote. I enjoy the freshness of the video, or channel itself. The professionalism that's grown over the past year. I'd recommend you go over there and look at it. Like I say, I'll put the link down there. Have a good time on it. Let me know what you thought. Really, he's a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of others out there. So I can see why he's ready to make that big jump. And if you like him, go ahead and sub, give him a thumbs up, put a comment down there in his bottom. He's at the point now where I think YouTube is really pushing hard to get him to that part too. So they're ready for another 1 million sub video creator out there for sure. And this one deserves that spot. So give him a pat on the back when you get there. Shout out, Jebus. I was glad to see your channel today, and I'll be visiting you a lot more often than I was before. You've reached that point where you're interesting, very interesting. Other than that, I haven't got a whole lot to say. I'm going to keep this as short as I can. I do have a doctor's appointment this week, another couple of days from now. And I'm going to get my shots for the season, as many as they'll give me. I'm due for the RSV and the flu shot and the COVID. So we'll see. They won't give me all three of them, but they'll give me a couple of them, I think, and then I'll have to go back for the third one. What else we got today? My mood is up and down yet. It's a little hard getting used to filling in. But my wife had always done a tremendous amount of the things around here and was always there for someone to talk to. And I don't have that privilege. I can talk to my pets, and they understand part of it, but they don't understand everything. I dearly wish that the Lord hadn't taken her so quick. I really wanted to spend more years with her. And that being said, I hope the sadness goes away soon. It comes and goes because of I'm so used to looking over her and seeing her, and I can't do that now. And I know I used to be kidded about being out here in the garage a lot. People used to say, "Oh, he got kicked out of the house. He can't have this inside." All that. With the office in the house, most of the time she's got her stuff in there that she does, and she did her own thing in there. And because I spent so much time in the garage, I set up out here with my little office, which is a little corner. And then over there, in that corner over there, is where I did a lot of the singing for exercise. I didn't do it for notoriety or anything like that. It's just, there was a study on it that people with COPD, if they sing on a regular basis, it helps them develop the muscles in their abdomen, diaphragm, and in their lungs. And it's something that the people with COPD fight all the time, is that as the years go by, those muscles get weaker and weaker until you can no longer breathe. For me, I'm headed into that last spot. One of these days when I come in with oxygen, then you'll know I'm in the final phase. It's very close. I lost a lot during, I had RSV, it'll be 2 years this December, and it took a lot out of what I had left of my lungs. And therefore, that's what makes me breathe during sometimes when I'm trying to talk. But I have quite a bit of phlegm in my throat, and it's hard to get all that out of my lungs. I used to be able to get it out very quickly and never had to worry about it. Whole different ball game today. Even my inhaler, I keep several around here, but they help. But if you take too much of it, then it doesn't do a whole lot of good. It seems like I can take them for a few days and then back off from it and then take it for a few days. So I don't know what. Maybe my lungs are getting so acclimated to it that it's not really doing that much anymore, or I just don't have the capability. Who knows? Trying to think of what else I can talk about today. The court system is kind of slow out there, at least for my part. When it hit me the hardest was while my wife was in the hospital. I had a hard time keeping up. It's very hard to try to find cases that are similar to yours so that you can use them for submittal. I have on my computer a lawyer's helper, AI type program, and that helps me out quite a bit. The really good ones cost you for membership. And for the final part of it, I'll probably have to go ahead and pay for the membership. And then you're only allowed so many hours and words and things like that. It's limited, and then you have to pay for more help. but it's nowhere near as expensive as a lawyer, but it's not as good as a lawyer either. After all, once you try to do it through AI, if you rerun it back through there, the words just aren't the same as a person doing it. Let's put it that way. But we'll see what happens when I get there. It takes a lot more skills than I presently have, and practice doesn't necessarily make perfect, especially with that. I don't have the education, the legal education that it takes to be somewhat of an expert. And I know there's a lot of experts out there. Or so-called experts. I get a kick out of some of them. And the heck of it is, the ones that call themselves expert, a lot of them do know a lot more than I do, because this is all kind of new territory. I've had to dig up things for the company that I worked for one time, for their court cases that they might run into. And I was very good at that. But I had a lot of reference to go to. I had other lawyers to help with those endeavors. Large companies hire one heck of a legal team. They have experts in everything, and it's all you're just at your hands. I mean, you can call up and talk to one of them because they're all on retainers. They work for you instantly. It's not something you have to wait weeks or months for. We had them on retainer, and we could utilize them same way with financing and stuff like that. A phone call away and a meeting within the week that you're in, sometimes within the same day. So having that spoils you. Today, I'm like an island out there. Although there's a lot of islands just like me that I can talk back and forth with, but still, it's a matter of a chore of getting from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And that's just kind of like a reference point, by the way. What can we do? Do our best. That's about my word of the day, by the way. If sometimes life isn't necessarily fair to everybody, and I feel that way about this court system. I look at it as being somewhat antiquated. It doesn't seem like it's modernized. There's a lot of BS involved with it, and everybody's trying to dot the I at the same time across the T, and it's who gets there first and who doses the other mistakes, and they look at little nonsensical things to go after each other. To me, it's a little inadequate if you want to be fair to each individual within a court case. And I don't care if it's the judge, the lawyer, the jury, the clerk, the person's being sued. The system needs overhauled, quite frankly. It's just too much BS. And it seems like they guard their jobs very closely. They don't want change. And not unless it favors their particular skill. And a lot of the people that are really good at it, they're very expensive. And I got that lesson pretty quick. One of the lawyers I talked to, who was recommended by a friend of mine, and this goes to an elite group, by the way. The guy, he said, "Are you a millionaire, Ray?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, I'm going to recommend somebody for you." He said, "I have to travel too far to go to the court that you've got to be in. That because this guy's down in southern Florida, and the system was up north." But like I say, he was recommended to me by an old classmate, and he gave me somebody, and then I talked to that person, and he gave me another one that was more skilled in what he had. And he said, "I will assist that guy if he asked for it." In other words, he could talk to him on the phone. This way I'd have somebody close to the court system. And the guy who was making the original recommendation said the best thing to do is make sure you get a lawyer that has been around that particular judge if you can. Because they'll know the judge well enough to know the ins and outs of the legalities of dealing with him. And that makes sense. But he said, now this classmate of mine is ultra, not ultra rich, but he's very well off financially, let's put it that way. And he said that his firm, and by the way, he is, the top dog in his firm. It's a very large firm. He said, typically, you'll put retainer the best lawyers in that area you're going to work out of. In other words, they're not going to work for the people that are outside of your realm, your company. That it's going to be very hard to get a very good lawyer in that area because he's going to hire most of them, at least on retainer. And it's worth it to win the cases because he deals on that level of financing. I know years ago the company I worked for bought and sold other companies, and sometimes they did it for the contracts alone. That the contract or the contracts they had coming into their firm would be worth the cost of buying their firm. And the big difference in the firms is that when you buy a large person, the pool itself isn't yours. In other words, if they have a certain amount of liquid cash that they're dealing with that keeps their bond ratings and borrowing and all that stuff low. So when you buy a company, it's only worth really the contracts that are there. Equipment and stuff, not so much. The equipment ends up being a hell of a deal when you buy it. So if you're going into an expansion and you want to bring everything in, you can do that, including people. And I was involved in a lot of that process, some of it in building a company from scratch, which is the hardest, very hard, because it's all brand new contacts. You have to hire people that have those contacts. That's how you get off the ground. Anyway, going back to the lawyers. I took him at heart. I understand now exactly what has to be done. And part of it is, in real terms, is know your enemy. And so you have to research background on these people, whether it be a lawyer or a judge, and obviously the opposing team. You want to know everything about everybody within that team, and put it all down somewhere where you can reference back to it. And as you do your due diligence and you're looking at stuff, you get where you recognize that name if it comes up on something. And is it something that's going to help your case? And if not, try to get it out of your mind and move on to the next thing. And that's about what I'm starting to do now, is to look at the opposing people that are within that. Now, a lot of them are nonsensical. And I'm not looking at the social network, by the way. I'm only looking at the legal end of it. The social network speaks for itself. It's almost like a bunch of 5th or 6th graders out there kind of fighting for the first place. And they're sucked up to the top dog. And so the real info or the real direction comes from the very top dog, not so much like the vultures down below. They're in a feeding frenzy for the first bite. And most of them, if you listen to them, they're going to brag a little bit about what they're doing, the information they have. They almost step on their own feet while they're trying to be up there in the first place. And I was going to use some other words there, but I don't want to get that nasty. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of them I used to call bottom feeders, but really they're after whatever's left over from the big fish in the pond. The little pieces come off and whatever he's feeding on, and everybody gets a little piece of that. So they never get the main chunk, just the little pieces. And when the pond grows small from a famine or something, the big guy, he feeds on the little ones. The ones that followed him around they become his main diet at that point. It never fails until it's all left to just the one guy or the one big fish. Well, that's really all I got. This is 20 minutes. It's getting too long. I'm going to let it go. Everything I've talked about is opinion. Some of it's input from a friend. Heater up there is rattling a little bit. Oh well. Anyway, have a good weekend. Well, actually, it's the beginning of the week. Have a great week. And when it comes this weekend, maybe we'll see what happens on Saturday. If I feel like it somewhere during the week, I'll try to throw another one up real quick. But with that, I say goodbye for the day. I hope you had a good day today, and we'll see you.